You have clients calling you from all over. It's a 24/7 job. If you really have a passion for it, you can do it. And just don't put it off. Never say never, and it's never too late.
Welcome to the Deal Flow podcast. I'm Michaela, founder of Apex Rev AI, where we help real estate professionals grow their businesses using AI and smarter systems. Today, I'm joined by Patrick Baccanari, a California real estate professional who made the leap from Silicon Valley tech sales into real estate entrepreneurship. Patrick, welcome to the show.
Oh, wow. I'm really happy to be here.
Awesome. Well, Patrick, you had a really interesting career path. Before real estate, you spent years in Silicon Valley working in technology sales, business development, and marketing. Can you tell us a little bit about that journey and how you transitioned into real estate?
Sure. My first job was with Xerox back. So I'm dating myself a little bit. Xerox was at one point a great company. Before we were up against IBM and we were selling copiers and printers and fax machines. That's when people used to fax, not email. So, that was the late 80s. So I started there, and that really was my leap into technology. So Xerox was a great company, and that was known for their sales training. So I got the best sales training right out of the gate. I went to Spin. We used to call that, it's a sales training they had there, and it's still around. Learned how to work with clients and how to really find out and listen to what their needs were in order to be able to reach their business goals and objectives. So that was the beginning. And from there, I went on to different technology companies. I've worked with Verizon for a long time on the business side of it. Uh, had a lot of clients in the automotive and aerospace industry. So those were my clients with Verizon, and then on to you with Packard. Worked there for several years in business development, sales, and marketing there also.
Awesome. So it sounds like you learned a lot of great skills in those early careers that translate into real estate, right?
For sure, for sure. I really learned how to listen and understand what the client's needs were and what's their motivation. And that's what you really need to do with your clients in real estate.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you went into sales, you did marketing, you worked in a lot of businesses. And so what was it about real estate that interests you and made you want to jump in?
When I was younger, I was on the East Coast and I was in Manhattan working in corporate America. And, back then, climbing the corporate ladder was the thing to do, right? There was always part of me that wanted to be an entrepreneur and have my own business. I was always interested in real estate, intrigued by real estate. I always wanted to get more involved in real estate. But, I kept climbing the corporate ladder, working with these technology companies. So the incentives were too good, perks, and all, even though it was a lot of time and focus and energy, there were still a lot of benefits to that. And then I got married and had a family. And so it was kind of like the golden handcuffs, right? But in the back of my mind, I always wanted to really be an entrepreneur. So I think your question was how to get into real estate. And so towards the twilight of that my technology career, I was scratching my head thinking, well, what's next? I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I moved to California full time and I got a little bit into agriculture with a couple startups, but really wasn't the right fit for me. And I kept looking at the real estate, and I'm on the Monterey Peninsula, and I thought this would be a great opportunity. It's very competitive. There's a lot of weird realtors here on the peninsula, second generation realtors here. But I thought this is my last chance to go for it, and that's what I did.
That's awesome. So how has it been starting your own business? And are you loving the entrepreneurial side of it?
I totally love the entrepreneurial side of it because I am in control of my destiny here 100%. So it's up to me to make the right decisions and to focus on the right areas and to make the right connections. If I don't do it, it doesn't get done. So I'm building a brand here and it's been challenging, but I love it. I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun, but it's a lot of work too. I work 24/7. People don't realize how hard successful realtors really work. It's a 24/7 job because you have clients calling you from all over the country, all over the world. I have a client in China right now at all different times with different types of questions and demands. So you're always on, and you always have your phone and computer with you. You never know when you're going to get that call, or you're going to need to do an email or something like that.
That makes sense. Yes, having to be on, making sure your phone's always there. Definitely don't want to miss any of those calls. That's great to hear. So, I know you've been in real estate now for over a few years and you're already focused on growing your team and expanding your business. What does that growth strategy look like today?
Yeah, that's the biggest challenge because the most successful people in real estate are team leaders, people that have teams that they've developed over time, and they've been in real estate longer than I have been, and they've done the mentoring, and they've been mentored by some great people in real estate. Right now, I'm building a brand here that's going to attract the right type of people, and I'm always and connecting and networking with different types of people and discussing real estate and their thoughts on real estate. And so I'm looking for really the right people to bring together and build a team.
That makes sense. I know relationships are probably the most important aspect. That's awesome. I know you've been building up your team. What's one piece of advice you'd give to people looking to start their career today?
I think lining yourself with the right broker would be important. I am with eXp Realty, which is a global realty company that started back in 2009. It's not like your traditional type real estate companies, and the paradigm is moving towards this type of real estate company. Unbelievable network of people involved in it, and it has recruited people from some of the best real estate companies from all over the country. So number one would be finding the right broker to work with. Secondly would be you need to have a network. You need to have clients. In order to do that, it's great if you're connected, for example, on a team that has a relationship with like Zillow. I'm a premier agent for Zillow. I have a relationship with Zillow. They're generating opportunity for me, and I'm working with some of their clients. That's about 50% of my business. Of course, they're being compensated if I close a deal and develop a clientele through Zillow. All my Zillow clients, they're going to get a piece of that, but it's still a great way to develop clients because then they have friends. We get referrals from there that aren't part of Zillow. So then they're repeat clients. So once you've done a transaction with them after 2 years, they're no longer part of the Zillow, so they're my clients directly. You have to be very resourceful, have multiple tools. Being on a team, a successful team. I'm part of the number one team in the Bay Area. Being part of a successful team and finding the right broker. Those are the three most important things.
Great advice. Thanks, Patrick. So let's talk about the market for a minute. You're in the Bay Area, and I know California is one of the most unique real estate and competitive markets in the country. So, what are some of the biggest challenges you're seeing right now for both buyers and sellers?
Number one, the interest rates, right? Because after '09, the market started to recover. The interest rates were low. They were like 3%, 2.5. Some people have mortgages at a 2.5, 3%. Right now, the mortgage rates are about 6.5, 7%. I don't believe you're going to see rates as low as 3% in the near future. I never say never, but that might not happen. So there's a challenge now because people still remember that, and that's what they're looking for or waiting for. And that's the worst thing you can do is wait. Okay. So I'm meeting a client today. He's been looking and he's been hesitant, but now we got some really good inventory here and we can negotiate. And if he's going to wait for interest rates to lower, he's going to miss the opportunity. So I think the biggest challenge is educating your client on the market, the inventory, and prices aren't going to drop. Real estate doesn't really drop unless something drastic happens. Some sellers price too high, so those are the properties that'll sit. We do market analysis, so we know the value of the property and what it should be priced at and listed at. So the ones that are listed high are just going to sit and there's going to be price reductions. So for sellers, if they're looking to list their property listed at the correct price, you're going to get more looks, more buyers, more interest, and probably more competitive offers.
It sounds like it's really about educating your clients, balancing the emotion with their previous expectations to what the market currently is.
100%.
Awesome. So, coming from a technology background, I'm curious how that influences how you run your real estate business today.
Well, I'll tell you what, my choice for eXp Realty is because of my technology background. They are a technology based company. So when I said we have resources and training, it's cloud based, technology based. And if I have a question, I can get an answer from somebody within minutes, right? That might be across the country. Because of my technology background, I was able to pick the best broker for me and really understand the client and what their needs are. And it's very similar to real estate. Any type of business development position, you're really trying to find what the client's motivation is and what their needs are. And once you know what their needs are, then you can help pinpoint better what they're looking for.
That makes sense. And it sounds like it's a great fit with their technology background and your technology background. So
It is. I love it.
that's awesome. So obviously, AI has been one of the biggest conversations across every industry right now. What's your perspective on AI? And are you embracing it? Or
I think any smart agent is embracing AI. It's definitely a great tool to have in order to be more efficient it helps with time management. I'm in a competitive bid for a listing. I did the proposal and then I put it through Claude, which is an AI tool that we use. I put the foundation and all the information in, and then the way it spit it out and presented it for the client was great, which could probably save me hours, right?
yeah,
So I think AI used correctly is a great tool.
that's awesome. It's great that you've embraced it and already started incorporating it and just seeing how it benefits. Creates better processes, is more efficient. Like you said, that presentation would probably take hours, where with AI, minutes. So I'm curious, if you could automate one part in your business, what would that be?
Automate one part in my business using AI. I think it would be cold calling because any part of building a brand and a company, you have to cold call, you have to reach out, you have to network all the time. That's where you get your clients. That's where you get your opportunity in your business. I'm looking into how I can use that more effectively for reaching out to potential clients.
Well, that's a good one to automate for sure.
Yeah.
I know going through the number of cold calls can be tedious sometimes. So, one thing I really enjoyed hearing about in our pre call was your involvement in the community. And I know you're in the middle of organizing a fundraiser that supports affordable spay and neuter services for underserved communities. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes. So we just actually had a garage sale in my office here now in Carmel, California. It's across from the Barnyard Village, which is a shopping area in Carmel. And what we did is we reached out to the community and asked for donations. And so we could raise money for SNP. They do spay and neuter services. They have mobile vans that go out. They're scheduled all over Monterey County, and their footprints are even getting larger and they spray and neuter dogs and cats in underserved communities for less than half the price it would cost if you went to a vet. This is a real problem, overpopulation of pets in California. So this is really helping with that, giving families an opportunity to have a pet and not worry about multiple pets, anything like that. So it's a great cause. It's been in existence for about 10 years. It's a great nonprofit, and we did have the garage sale. A mobile clinic is costs about $4,700 to $5,000 per clinic. So, and they have multiple clinics throughout the week in multiple areas throughout Monterey County. And what we were able to do is raise money for half of a clinic, which is really good, right?
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
awesome.
my goal was to raise enough to be able to support a whole clinic, but we were able to raise money for half of a clinic. So we're pretty excited about that. We feel it was successful, and it's important to give back to the community.
That's awesome. And what a great cause. And congratulations on raising that. I know that's super helpful and that's awesome to hear. We'll also include that information in the description below if anyone wants to reach out and learn more about that cause. I appreciate you sharing that with us.
Yeah, my pleasure.
So, what are you currently focused on in the next 12 months? I know you're focused on growing, but what does that look like?
Obviously, it's a continuous thing. So, I just had a couple move into their house last month. We closed escrow and everything. I did everything and I supported them throughout the whole process and I'm friends with them and I stay in contact with them. But, it's a continual thing to network within the community and all over the state of California, all over the country, really find people that are interested in looking at properties and homes on the Monterey Peninsula. So my focus really is to keep expanding and develop the process, be more effective at it, and I have a great website, patrickbaccanariproperties.com. We're working on that continuously. There's going to be more features and functionality added to help you. So you can go to patrickbaccanariproperties.com instead of Zillow. I have all the latest listings throughout Monterey County right on the site. So if you're looking for a property or you're looking to list a property, we put it on all the different platforms. As a client, you can go directly to my website and find anything you need. Anything about the Monterey Peninsula, any market research you need to do, any competitive analysis, we can all do it right on my website.
That's awesome. And I'll also put that information in the description below. If you want to reach out to Patrick, we will have all that information for you guys to check out. And just a few more questions, Patrick. Looking back, what's one accomplishment you're most proud of so far? It can be in your previous career or in real estate as well.
And real estate, I met this client and she sold her house in Carmel for over $10 million and needed help. She wanted to put some of that money into investment properties. I was able to work with her and we found some investment properties for her to help offset the sale of her $10 million house. And, right now she's happy with the way everything worked out, the properties we found and the investments are working out for her. So that's a great accomplishment for her and for me.
That's a great one. And so, for someone thinking about making a major career change like you did from the corporate America world into real estate or into entrepreneurship, what advice would you give them?
Well, if you're thinking about it, don't think too long. I would just do it. Like I said, I probably should have did this 10, 15 years ago, but I was raising kids, they were going through college, things like that. Yeah, obviously they come first. But if you're really thinking about it, if you really have a passion for it, you can do it. Just don't put it off. Never say never, and it's never too late.
Great advice. So, for our listeners wanting to learn more about you, we will put your information in the description below. We'll have his website and all of his online presence. And thank you again so much for joining us today, Patrick. We loved listening about your journey and your insights. And thank you to our listeners for tuning into the Deal Flow. We will see you on our next episode.